Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is episode 23 of our Confederate Summer of 61 campaign in version 1.10 using the A.O.M mod. No viewer units this episode, so we'll jump straight into the recap. So last episode we did see two fights. We had a small skirmish down here at Appomattox Courthouse. And then out west over here, we had the Battle of Rolla, seeing off the Army of the Missouri. They do still have two corps in this army. They are now in the western part of the state. And they have a total of about 64,000 men, 200 guns. Could be an issue for us. That army's gotten much larger. So, Before I could send off this army, the Department of West up into Iowa, I am going to have to take care of this force down here. So I am planning on moving the Army of Tennessee back into Tennessee to prepare for operations up into Kentucky once the winter has passed. So I don't want this army here any longer than it needs to be. But we are currently flipping the state. If we come over here to, where is it, support. We have 68% support in the state. So she's almost ready to flip over to us. I'm not sure what the percentage is that you need to flip, but we are almost there. Same's going on Kansas. Kansas is actually now up to 37% support. So we are getting there with this state also. I have a feeling once we flip Missouri, Kansas will flip also, or will flip that much faster. I do have one unit recruited out of here so far. It's just an engineer unit, and they are in Recruitment Command West right now. But there are no officers available from Kansas. I was hoping to find one or two political officers to put in charge of that brigade, and there are no officers available from Kansas, so that idea went out the window. But a lot of these western states are slowly coming in our direction. Illinois is up to 20% in our favor. Wisconsin, another 20. Iowa's at 15. Minnesota's at 15. Nebraska is only at 10%, but pretty sure we'll be able to start taking care of that also. As we did take back the two forts outside of Wilmington. After last episode, I ran the game another 3 days, because I knew nothing was going to happen, because I wanted to open on the August monthly. So we did take Fort Fisher outside of Wilmington also. So I'm ordering Bragg's Corps back out here to the west. And I'm going to have him take down Fort Kearney next out here on the Oregon Trail. So there's no capturable cities in Nebraska territory. But I want to see if capturing this fort will help start bringing support in from this territory. Because that is a goal of mine, is flipping these territories just to see if it is possible. Because I just don't know if it is or not. Also, our Raider fleet is good to go again. So I am giving it orders to go engage the 2nd Gulf Blockading Fleet. And I think there might be one out here somewhere now. Which port was it? This port's shown as having a blockade on it. There shouldn't be any fleet in this area. If there is, it's barely touching it, so it's out here somewhere, and I gotta find it. Because there should be 3 Gulf blockading squadrons. I've only seen 1st and 2nd. There should be a 3rd one. Now, let's see here. Actually, I do think that does cover everything. Outside of the Union sending those forces out here into Western Virginia. I did lose track of that force they did send out here. So they might be out here somewhere, it might not be, but I don't think they flipped any. Oh, they're flipping Grafton right now. Court of Kanawha is on its way up there, so I'm not worried about that. Since they are moving back through the mountains, it is taking them a few days to get up to where I need them to be. So Court of Kanawha can handle that issue. That was a small corps there. Unless another corps comes down to help them, that should not be an issue. And also, the Court of Monongahela to get its artillery division. Now I just need to raise another infantry division and a cavalry division for that corps to be complete. And I will be sending one brigade from the, I forget which corps, I think it's in the, which one was it? I think it's the corps of Shenandoah has a brigade from Arkansas in it. That's actually a brigade, that's divisioned up with the other VMI brigades. I'm going to send that brigade from back out here to this army to start making the 3rd Division for the Corps of the Arkansas, so I can put the 2nd VMI into that division. But I'm going to hold off on any more recruiting for right now unless it's a requested unit because our finances are not that great. Speaking of which, it's now time for those monthlies. So our current rating is BBB. Our current liabilities amount to $340 million. That has been steadily climbing. Right after I ended the last episode, we did pop another bond off at 6.2%, I believe it was. Actually, let's take. Is it up here still? I don't see it now. All right. So, current economy cycle is recovery. The wealth of our population is mediocre and increasing compared to the previous month. Our tax revenues increased by $270 million. I don't think there was an increase. I think the 270 is what we were bringing in, so I don't know why it says an increase. And that's big. Our expenditures far exceed that amount of money. Didn't construct anything last month. Total export volume last month was $1 billion out, with 1.5 coming in. So freeing up just even those small western ports in Texas, East Coast has seriously brought up our exports. So now I got to get a tariff running on all that stuff so I can start earning some money. Average corporate production over the last 3 months was $150 million. It changed to negative $4.1 million. And we are still lacking artillery, ammunition, locomotives, but we're full of fish, cotton, and salt. Come up here. I didn't even look at this yet. Coffee, once again, that's always going to be short. It says our fish production is short, though we should not be short of fish production. It just said our stocks are full of it. So I don't know what's going on there. It says our production is 2,500 versus demand of 31,000. We should be more than meeting the demand as we have opened up quite a few of our ports. Flour production is still down. Once I have enough farm subsidies, I will be building a flour mill, so I'll be taking care of that one. We are now running into gunpowder and artillery ammunition problems. Leather production is still low because of the factory issues. Sugar production was 0 versus demand of 349, so I don't know what's going on there. I know we're producing sugar. I don't know why none of it's making it into the market. Same with transport ships. We do have ports that are not blockaded anymore, so we should have 0 issues with the transport ships. It's not something that we can construct ourselves. It can only be done at the port. And there's plenty of wood in the market, so I don't know what's going on there. Also, we're getting short of small arms ammunition. These fights are happening a little more. We had quite a few fights in the last 2 months, where it was usually going a few weeks to almost a month between fights. It was the last 2, June and July, was a battle or 2 a week. So we've gone through the stocks of rifle, artillery ammo that we had, along with all the powder. And locomotive production is still short, which is a factory's thing. No, it's not that bad. Our production is 782 versus a demand of 856. And we still have the same ineffective companies, though they are not as ineffective as they were, if memory serves me correctly, because we did pop off on supporting the trade IIPs. All right. So, yeah, if we come here to finances, our expenditures are $677 million now. With popping off the draft and increasing the size of our armies, we are hitting our bank hardcore. So we are exceeding our income by $421 million right now. So I do want to get that tariff popped off. The problem is that we'll tank support a little more on the intervention. Now, I have no illusions of bringing an intervention from the British or French at this point. I think the only way that would have been possible is if I had the industrialization available to me so I can go down the emancipation line, but that is just no longer available to me. And I don't want to reduce it anymore. I'm still going to be subsidizing envoys over, because intervention status also affects how much it costs for me to import weapons. So I need to keep this in a somewhat good area. Most of my troops are now rifle armed. I'm just now looking to upgrade everything. So I actually have one corps that's almost fully armed with Lorenzes at this point. That's only because I still have the small brigades. And as everything gets larger, that's going to get harder to upgrade everybody. So I do need that subsidy. I need that diplomatic effect to be in a better spot than it is. And I'll get there through policies and sending diplomats. So I just need to get that cost down. All right, now intelligence report. Sure, we're in the right one. There was a glitch. Yeah. All right, they're still working on United States colored troops. That was something they started in the last month, so they haven't finished that yet. It says they haven't recruited anybody. We'll take a look at that in a minute. They started another squadron. I don't know what's with all the ships they are building. They don't need them. They're not using them. And morale of the federal armies is at 75%. So we come up here to strategy. So Union national morale is down to 73. That was up in the 90s last month. Their national support is still in the 90s. That's at 93 to our 92. So theirs is actually, their national support is higher than ours. The morale of armies is about even. I don't understand why mine is down to 78, but I think it's the two armies operating up here in Missouri, because it's not Confederate controlled, is dropping our morale a little bit. And the number of men fielded by the Union has dropped. When I looked at this prior to the monthlies, just a few days ago in game, they had over 214,000 men in the field. They have dropped to 179,000. So they either had a lot of men go AWOL, or they had a lot of enlistments just switch over. So, because our numbers are now basically comparable, just off by 20,000. So, because they were over 214,000, and I did not cause that many casualties in the last few months. Naval tonnage is now up to 154,000. I don't even know why they're building that. Total casualties so far, we're still rocking at about 2-1. They are at 65,492 casualties to our 36,087. So we are still doing very well in that area. Coming over to policies. We are currently working on impressment, which is going to drop my state support even more. But it's supposed to reduce the cost of supplies by 20%. So there should be some monetary savings in there for me to help raise my credit again. I don't care that they're running at a deficit, but our credit's got to stay good for us to keep units in the field. So this will be another 15 days off. And once that is complete, I'll be running into government funding 2, and then down into the Revenue Act so I can start taxing the people. Not the greatest move in the world, I know. Nobody likes taxes. But I don't want to run a tariff act if I want to keep, prices on my imports down. So if I run the tariff act, that's going to drop my relations with the Europeans another 10%. So I need the money, but I need the support too. And one thing I could do is run down here to King Cotton 2 and then run into restrict the cotton trade, which will increase European relations by 10% because they want to keep us happy. So public wealth will drop, which means taxable income will drop, but it'll bring relations with the British and French up by another 10%. But I'm not sure if I want to waste the time on just getting that act, because I can't do burned cotton and not only raise relations by another 15%, but I have to go through King Cotton 3 and King Cotton 4 to even get to this. King Cotton 4 is 61 days. King Cotton 3 is 46 days. King Cotton 2 is 30 days. I don't know if I want to waste the time on it or not. I'd rather go down the financial tree and tax my people as necessary. What I really need to do is get down to Revenue Act 3, which will allow me to take taxes out of industries. So, and one other thing I am looking at is free trade. That's a 20-day one. It'll raise relations by another 10%. And it'll put a limit on how much we can tax them, though. And I'm not planning on taxing them. But the 20.5 days for the 10% boost, I think, is worth the trade-off. We'll see. I think that's the way we're going to go, but we'll see. Now, if we come over to projects, let's see what we got available. We got sendable only on. So send invoice. Going to pop this off again. Right now we're at 13%. That brings us to 17%. So that gave us another 4% on our relations, which will make the next weapons order a little bit cheaper. Not much, though, but a little bit cheaper. And we have cavalry reform, so we're going to take that. And that just ate everything up. So next thing I'm going to do is pop off on cavalry carbines to get some better weapons out to my cavalry next. So Army's going to get a lot more expensive to maintain now, so I'll have the be able to grow to larger cavalry units. And when I dispatched that one division from Stan Watie's corps home, I thought I'd actually already had that popped off, but I didn't. So hopefully these guys will be able to pick up some more men than they are now. I hope. 323, 414, 429. They're going to be gone another 39 days yet. So hopefully these numbers increase since I just popped off on that. Alrighty, I do believe that covers everything that we need to do. So I'm not planning any offensive operations in Virginia. I want to move the Army Tennessee back into Tennessee. And I need to get the Department of West back up in the green so I can go kick the Army of the Missouri out of Missouri. That's about the only operation I have planned right now is taking care of the Army that's sitting down here. They need to go. So I can finish flipping Missouri into our favor and get Kansas in the bargain. Then go get rid of this fleet down here outside of New Orleans. Alright, I'll get things in motion and I'll be back when something happens. Alrighty, it is August 2nd in game. We've only moved the game clock forward one day. And First Corps Army of the West, I don't know why, but their headquarters is not involved. Maybe they're in a defensive stance. But the First Corps under Haskell was moving south here as we were moving north up to Grafton. I wasn't looking because I was following my Gulf Raider squadron here as I was trying to get them into another engagement. They stopped flipping Grafton and started moving south. So they ran into the Corps Kanawha. What town is that? Outside of Beverly in Western Virginia. So they have 8,100 men, no cavalry, no guns, to my 16,000 infantry, 1,400 cavalry, and 12 guns. And this corps is still not too well armed, though it is better armed than the last. I think they are still mostly Enfields. None of the Lorenzes or Springfield rifles have made it to this army yet. So we're going to take this fight, and I will be back after the load screen. Welcome to the Battle of Beverly. As you can see, I just started getting my troops lined up on the road here. This is going to be basically like the skirmish over at Appomattox. I am just going to get these guys spotted. I kind of have a feeling they're going to be down here along this stone fence line. But they're supposed to be defending Cramps Hill here. And they don't tend... The last small battle they were on the objective point. The big battle they were not. So moving my cavalry division forward. Up to the stone fence. Probably right here because I think they might be on the stone fence. Or they could be on this road here. Which I'm not going to approach up. I'm not coming through those woods. And this is a valley over here. I'm not marching my men through that. So my hope is that they are here on Cramps Hill. I'll be able to set my artillery up on this one, soften them up a little bit, and send a division and chase them off. So I'm going to get my troops moving, and I'll be back. So we do have their forces spotted. They are on Cramps Hill. It's already going on to 1800 in game, so the sun's going to be going down in 2 hours. There won't be any attack today. So I'm not even moving any of my forces by the time they get their orders. So I'm hoping I'll have a further deployment zone for the morning. That'll put me on top of them. That is my hope. So I'll be back with the day 2 start and hopefully a short skirmish. Alright, we're in day 2, and I was able to deploy my forces much closer. So I have the artillery over here on this hill, well within range of their brigades. I'm going to let them soften them up for an hour, get some experience points in. And then I'll send in the 2 largest divisions I have, which is the 1st Alabama Division and the 1st North Carolina Division, to send them away if the artillery doesn't drive them off. I don't feel like losing as many men as I did in the last battle. I know that's not me, that's not my playstyle. I'm more aggressive than that, but I don't know if it's an update to the game, but it seems like even when fighting from cover, you're starting to take some more casualties than usual. So let me get this kicked off, and I'll be back. Alrighty, it's now going on to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I gave my batteries all morning and a piece of the afternoon to do what they can, and it really has not been effective because these batteries are just small. They actually had some enemy batteries up here to fire at. They're probably doing a lot better. So instead of wasting all that artillery ammunition, I'm now sending forward my 2 infantry divisions for the attack, which is the 1st Alabama and the 1st North Carolina. So I'm going to cut this here once these guys get in contact range, because as you see with the A.O.M. mod, this does take longer to get these orders out and executed. So I'll be back once they're in contact. Alrighty, we're starting to get a little bit of contact here. Just got their skirmishers out in front of us. We're just going to keep marching forward, push the skirmishers out of the way, and close the distance. These skirmishers aren't going to stay long once we're in close musket range. We're going to hold here, wait for this division to catch up. For some reason they took even longer to get their orders out than usual. Or are they going to come down and fight? That'd be interesting. What the hell are they doing? Get your muskets in on that. It looks like they might be coming down for some fun. Won't have to go all the way up the hill to get them. Had these guys targeting a specific brigade. Let me get that changed up to fire at will again. hurry up. Not taking that many casualties, I feel like. Now, here comes down the line brigade. Yeah, casualties about even up. I'm not liking that. See how fast they're pulling back, just right outside of my range the whole time. That's just starting to fire on those guys. You gotta straighten out your lines. Push it. Now they want to come back. Damn skirmishers eat up a lot of the fire. In the range, damn it. Starting to break. Should be firing. I set them on counter battery by mistake. So used to hitting that button. Alright, everybody, closing for the kill. Get up there. Get moving. I don't know why he's got something to do with this last update, it looks like. 'Cause I saw the same thing on Worms' channels. As soon as even a retreating unit crosses their path, it stops them from moving and shooting. They turned to face a retreating unit. They didn't even make contact with them. And they are pulling back. I wonder if this is how Custer's men felt. Being stuck on top of the hill and getting surrounded. Yeah, everybody's in shooting range. Good. Just musket them down, boys. Where are you guys going? Like, this is just odd. Like, all the other units stop as soon as they see an enemy unit. This one just kept going. That's all she wrote. Break this last brigade and they're done. They're already withdrawing. Yeah, I feel like I took more casualties than I should have. It is what it is. Break that brigade. There we go. There's only the one left now. They're about to break. You're after them at the double time. There they go. Alright, let's speed this along. So now's oh, there it goes. Alright. Skirmish at Beverly. I'm not even going to call that a battle. Consider the numbers disparity. I could have sent more of my army at them, but there was no place to like put anybody in line to even attack unless I wanted to wait for a full encirclement. So we took down 750 to 8,000 infantry. I really thought we would have caused more casualties, but it is what it is. How did I lose cavalry? I must have had some guys go AWOL overnight. Yeah, I did. I got started today with like 15 casualties, so I had some guys go missing overnight. So I lost 545 of my 16,000 infantry, 14 of my cavalry, 0 guns, for a total of 559 of my 17,000. So the numbers compared to what I have on the field to casualties, the percentages don't look as good. But that 750 of 8,000 is a heavier hit than me. So we will take that. Back and inspect the field here. So I know I have some viewer units in here. First division. Nope, don't have anybody in that one. Second division. I may not have anybody in the. Oh, do I not have any viewer units in here? Only the Appalachian Rifles. And they were on the far flank, so they actually weren't even in the fighting, really. They only caused 14 casualties. I'm sorry, but they were already out. They were already out on the flank, weren't they? Where are they? Yeah, that's these guys. They really weren't even involved. All right, let's close out of this. So I don't even know why they stayed and fought. It's like I wouldn't have even stayed and fought on that one. It was just too big of a numbers disparity to even think of having a chance of victory. But at least the AI is not forcing you into a load-in, load-out battle. So I think that's something they might have taken care of with this patch. It's supposed to be in the last one, but I think they took care of it with this one. Because I haven't had a load-in, load-out battle in a while. And somehow my division commander became famous from that, even though there was a nothing fight. Alright. Hopefully you don't feud with the corps commander. You know, all these little forces have been sending into Western Virginia are just kind of getting a little annoying. Just a little bit. You know, let's see. I'll go through this real quickly. The enemy reportedly suffered total casualties, 778 men. There are 78 killed and 166 captured. Morale is believed to be nervous. Our casualties total 559 men with 59 killed, 94 missing, and the rest wounded. We captured 486 rifles and sent 167 men down to Andersonville. What's this? Okay, that core is disintegrated. Good. Don't have to worry about them for a little bit yet. And I guess we're finished repairing. Perfect. I saw the broken Confederate flag. I thought like one of my units just disintegrated. I would have been really pissed. All right. Nothing else happening right now except waiting for the Gulf Raider Squadron to come into contact over here. So it's still going to be another month before I can get the... Corps Missouri is going to be ready for anything. Unless the... looks like the 2nd Corps might be heading their direction. Our Missouri's heading south. The 2nd Corps is over here. Where are you boys going? We'll figure that one out. So I'll be back when something else happens. Alright, so the Gulf Raider Squadron is earning its keep. We just finished another engagement down here against the second. It drew the Mobile Squadron in. They had like 3 schooners and they lost 1. But that was after our raiding action. So we raided the 2nd Gulf Blockading Squadron, disabled 1 ship, captured another one, a 3rd-rate steamer. So they pulled off a little bit and they pulled, I guess they got close enough into the shore where the 3rd Mobile Bay Squadron was kind of like sitting here and it drew them into a fight. But I'm not worried about it. I think I'm just going to disband this force anyway because it's just a couple of schooners. So they're really not useful to me in any form or fashion. So the Raider Squadron is on its way back to port to refit. They should still be good on ammunition. But the readiness goes down fast during these raiding actions. So they're already back down to yellow. They can go do it again. But we'll let them restock, get back into shape, and then head back out again. I'm actually surprised their commander is not famous at this point. Because he should be. Yeah, because he's had 5 battles and 5 victories. He should be famous at this point. Just a little update there on the how the squadron was doing. Actually, let's take a look at the French disappointment. Are they ready to go? Where are you, boys? They are not ready to go yet. Excuse me. Another 14 days. Excuse me. Damn cold won't go away. So, I swear, every time I look at this, their delay gets longer and longer on getting to the water. It is what it is. We'll take care of it. Yeah, once these guys are in port, I'm going to get rid of them. That destination, Jackson. All right. So, I'll be back when something else happens. Disaster in the Gulf. It's now August 13th, and the Raider Squadron, which went out once again with full green readiness, both ships at 99%, engaged 2 ships from the Gulf Blockading Squadron, the Santee and the St. Mary's. One was a frigate and one was a side-wheel steamer. And we knocked out 1 ship, and then the engagement drug on overnight. And for some reason, the readiness of my fleet dropped all the way down to the red, which caused them to scuttle both the Manassas and the Virginia. I have no words for how angry I am right now. I really do not. There was no reason for them to have scuttled those ships. They won that engagement. So they knocked out the 1 ship, which retreated. 1 ship was down to 36%, while they're both up in the 90s. They're both at 98%. And then now I'm watching the fight, the readiness dropped into the red, and the fleet disintegrated. Instead of retreating and sailing back to port, they scuttled them. My high hopes in the Gulf are starting to slip away from me. But we do have the 2 more that are being built. So there is that. We have the French disappointment, which is, says it'll be ready in 2 more days, but I don't think so. And I gotta see what I can pull together out of the rest of these forces, because the Atlanta and the Georgia are gonna be a long way off from being ready to go, unless I can get them ported into New Orleans, and it needs to be clear of blockade for me to do that. I gotta go through all these fleets out here and see what I have in the way of larger ships, at least third rates. Any ship that's not rated, I am gonna be getting rid of, like the schooners. Get rid of that. The teaser, get rid of that. If it doesn't have a rating, it's going away. Yeah, ship's tender, bye-bye. CSS King, bye-bye. Davis, goodbye. Arrow, goodbye. So, yeah, as some of these other captured ships coming... Oh, looks like the Virginia made it back to port. Okay, at least I kept one of them. The Manassas looks like it's gone, but I still have the Virginia, and she's at 98%, so I can put her right back in the water. Perfect. That's good. Who knows, maybe the Manassas will pop back in there for me, too. I am going to have to start using the rest of these fleets if they're down in the area to start raiding. Timberclads, third rates, fourth rates, not good ships, but they should be able to at least raid. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Everything's going to start raiding. I need these ports cleared. And I don't have any fleet left over here. So New Orleans Squadron keeps popping out. These guys aren't in their radius, so there's a fleet here somewhere. They were doing that to me last time. There's someone here I don't see. And that's probably the 3rd Squadron. I just haven't spotted it. Alright, let's see. If I can get her back into water at Pensacola, I'll be happy. Let's see if we can do that. Yes. Alright, get her back into water at Pensacola. Works for me. Where was the commander I did have? Ebenezer Ferrand. He's a volunteer. Oh, these guys are all so much better. His stats dropped during all these engagements, and I don't know why. Leadership, cunning, administration, all 3s. Lynch, you're taking command of that. Maybe the Manassas will slink back into port for me. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully. Alright, just an update there. I'll be back. So it's August 18th in game, and it looks like the AI did a little bit of an end run around me. This first corps of the Army of Missouri was actually over here at Georgetown, and I was actually moving the Western Department into engagement range when I lost sight of him completely. Looks like he crossed the river up here and moved in behind me to St. Joseph, so I'm redeploying the Western Department to go engage him, and I'm moving the Corps of the Rio Grande out of the way since they are not ready to fight yet. They do have readiness, but their strength is not back. One division is still completely gone. So I need to get rid of these guys. I need to get these guys out of town. Once Corps of Rio Grande's out of the way, I think I'm going to move them over here to Palmyra. Quincy controlling these IPs right here is kind of flipping the state over. So I need to bring Mexico and these plantations back under my control. So I don't know why Quincy controls these in another state, but it is what it is. Also, the French disappointment is finally in the water, and I am moving them over to the mouth of the Mississippi Delta. So There's an enemy fleet out here somewhere. New Orleans Squadron keeps going to engage it, and they never quite do. So I was hoping they'd have an engagement before this fleet showed up. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Yeah, just sit there. So I'm trying to spot whichever Navy is blocking the port of New Orleans right now. I don't know. It can't be this one. I think that's too far of a range. It's only got 9 ships. It looks like the Virginia's going to be a few more days away from heading out. She's getting her readiness back up, but not quickly enough for me. Yeah, so Rosu keeps getting drawn into something, but he hasn't found them. And it's getting slightly annoying. Oh, he can't go any further than that. That's why. He's not a seagoing fleet. Okay. So there's a fleet there somewhere. We just got to find it. Hopefully the French disappointment can do some damage to it and not lose anything. Let's head back out this way. Are they fighting or are they withdrawing? And what, we stop right outside of engagement range? Move on up. I sent the department commander ahead because he can just draw these 2 corps in. One will be on the field right away and the other will show up within a day or so. There we go. So the Corps of Missouri should be on the field with the Corps commander. Corps of Rio Grande's 9 hours away. So he has less than 10,000 infantry, just under 935 cavalry and 89 guns. To my 26,500 infantry, almost 600. We'll call it 4,500 cavalry and 24 guns. So we are taking this fight. I need this corps gone. Then I need to go hunt down the other corps. I need this state to flip for me. So I'll be back after the load screen. Welcome to the Battle of St. Joseph, Missouri. So the Union is on the defense again. They are defending Old Town Road East here. It's actually a map. Have I fought on this one before? No, I have not. This is another map. I've not fought. I've never had so many battles out in the West before. Especially in the far West. So a lot of these maps are just brand new to me. So, let's see here. What do we got going on? So, Corps of Rio Grande's on the field. I am not going to be using them. So, the Corps of Missouri is 7 hours away, and the Corps of Arkansas is 34. So, I'm going to wait for the Corps of Missouri. And if they're defending on this side of the river, I'm not crossing up in this town. That's just out of the question. I might be able to. But both of my corps should be arriving along this road here. Because nobody was north except for the Corps of Rio Grande. And there's another ford here. Along with a pontoon bridge that I can build. I got 5.6 points, so let's build that. And I'm going to set the Corps of Rio Grande up defensively in case they want to come out and attack them. I don't think they will. But once my other corps arrives on the field, I'll probably use them in a scouting action. You have Price with his lifeguard here. So we'll just put him out here where they can see stuff. It's wide open ground. This is some flat terrain. Some folds in the ground. For the most part, it's flat. So even though he has more artillery than me, I should be able to make effective use of my guns. Alright, so I'm going to set up, like I said, I'm going to set these boys up in the defense ring up here on the edge of the hills here. And wait for the other corps to arrive. It's 6:30 in the morning, so maybe I can get this fight done today. I don't know. So I'll be back. So the AI did something completely unexpected, and they came out here looking for me. So, their commander is General Lyons, so I'm thinking he's a little more aggressive than most. Just want to check on Price and his boys. Looks like he got somebody heading their way, too. So I'm not so worried about the core of the Rio Grande. But my reinforcements are still about 4 hours away. So I do have issues. Why haven't you guys fallen back in line yet? They don't want to come at me. I'm more than happy to let them sit there. Looks like their entire army's coming this way, which will be good for me. If they're up here when my reinforcements arrive, I'll be able to go in and snatch up the objective point. These guys can build themselves some cover before they close in. So it looks like they're standing back a little bit. I will take whatever time they give me. I just wasn't expecting this. A little bit of a surprise. And being down one division does not help. If the other division was back, I'd probably be able to win this with the core of Rio Grande. Looks like they want to come around on my flank. Yeah, they want to come around on a flank. Why is my artillery no longer firing? Where are you guys pointed at? Looks like they're bringing up a battery. These guys on counter battery because they're coming into range. Yeah, they got that cavalry heading out on a flank over there. Yeah, they're sending the whole force up here, so I'll be able to weaken these guys. Not going to be able to hold against them, but I'll be able to weaken them. I got Prices getting the hell out of the way. Looks like they're sending the whole army up that way. Much longer for Longstreet Arrives. 4 more hours. All right. I don't think I'll be able to hold 4 hours, but if this corps leaves the field, I am not worried about it. Oh, you didn't get counter battery orders yet? He's right there. My morale's at 71 to theirs 53, but this is a small force. They are not going to hold. None of these guys have any perks yet. Figured they would after the last few fights they've been in. I'm going to pause this here, and I'll be back once these guys close in their engagement range. I just had to show this to you guys. The AI is actually massing for a proper attack, and they're actually going to have all their guns massed up too. So I think I only have a total of, yeah, I got 7 guns altogether against their 80-something guns. So yeah, my batteries are going to get destroyed in this fight more than likely. But they are giving me time to get the breastworks constructed. Now, if my men would just line up behind them correctly, so that they actually have green arrows. No, green cover, not green arrows. It looks like I'm going to miss for attack along the road. Might give me a chance to sweep these guys in on a flank. I don't know. Maybe at least take down some of their batteries. They still got more coming down that road. He's just waiting for everybody to be together and ready to go. It is going to be ugly when it happens. I'll be back. Alrighty, it's now 4:30 in game. Longstreet's forces have finally started arriving on the field. So I'm not going to move them to take the objective point right away. I'm going to send the infantry to line up right along this road, which will be the approach path for the Union armies when they come back in this direction. They have not moved to assault my other position yet, and I hope it stays that way. So we'll see, but I'm hoping it kind of stays where they do not come in and start an attack over there while I get this all lined up. It's going to be a little distracting. So I'm going to get these boys moving into a position that'll be helpful for me, and I'll be back. Alrighty, it's 1800 in game, and I just have some sad news. I know, especially for one of my viewers. Stan Watie's been wounded in the artillery exchange going on over here. So, yeah, he was a little too close to the front line over here. Their artillery's been really hammering away at these two brigades on the flank. So, he did get caught by some shell fragments, apparently. So he's not dead, so he didn't get hit by a shell, but he did get hit by some shell fragments. Not good news. I don't need him away from the field for too long. He's actually got some really good stats now. And I don't know what this wounding is going to do to him. So the artillery exchange, I mean, not so bad so far. The artillery really hasn't been that effective. They've caused me 83 casualties, and I've caused them 50 with only 7 guns. So, they have almost 100. And these guys are gaining some experience out of it. Even though I have them counter batteries, seem to be focusing on the damn skirmishers. But this is giving me a chance to get my men up in the field. I still haven't gotten my men into position. They're still a ways off. Looks like the engineers are actually going to arrive first. But I'm going to get my engineers to work, setting up some breastworks. Actually, I'll probably just hold off and I can build some breastworks. I can use them to fill out what I can't build. Because this is going to go into a day 2, and they're going to have to come back at me. Speaking of which, I need to move Price further forward, otherwise I'm going to lose the deployment zone. No, damn it, I don't want to order the whole army. God damn it. There we go. He needs to get up there. Like now. Send them right back there. So they've been arriving spread out. Looks like my final division's arriving on the field. Just got to wait for the last 2 brigades to show up from that division. He hasn't gotten his orders yet, alright. All these divisions have orders, they're just not moving yet. So I handed them out right as Watie was getting wounded. So, I'll be back with day 2 start. See what's going on. Alrighty, we have moved into day 2. Federals never assaulted my cavalry positions. They could have just shoved these guys off the field whenever they wanted. So, I am not doing anything to mess with my deployments over here. There's no reason to. My 2 batteries got some decent experience out of the day. If they just sit there longer, they'll get some more experience out of it, though they're almost out of ammunition. Look at me, 9, 12, and 19. I mean, they got nothing left. All my armies are short of artillery ammunition at this point. But I do have Longstreet's Corps on the field. So I put all of his batteries are 10-pound Parrots. So they're off here on the left flank with the engineers sitting in reserve on them. And I still have an infantry division that's all the way back here. They're going to be coming up. So once they arrive, they're going to sit reserve behind the artillery. And I have the other 3 divisions, which is the 1st Texas Division, 3rd Division, and 2nd Division, over here in the line. Left to right, DePolinac, Desert Foxes, Walker's Brigade, 6th Missouri Guard, 1st, 2nd, and 5th Missouri, 3rd Louisiana, 3rd Missouri, the Big Muddy, and the 4th Missouri. So I'm going to have Price's Lifeguard seize the objective point, which should get the Federals in motion. He's sitting right here waiting to go jump on it. And I have the Cavalry Division sitting reserve on the infantry divisions. So those are my arrangements. We'll get the day kicked off and see what the Federals get themselves into. Alright, even though I seized it several hours ago, it looks like I thought the Federals are finally reacting. It looks like there's only 1 brigade coming back this way. But both of these batteries now have their first perk. And he's going to get his second perk here pretty fast. If they just continue to sit here like this. I mean, if they sit there another day like this, I am going to attack them from the rear. I mean, I could do it right now, but I'd rather them come at me, if at all possible, because of all these batteries out here. But if I was going to launch an attack across the map, I would have had to do it right at the start of the day. It looks like the 1 brigade's going to come back. Oh well. Yeah, this is just turning into a long staring match. But they handed me the objective, so they have to come get it now. I don't know why it wasn't letting me build a whole line of works over here. Just trying to get my batteries out of the cornfield and more into a forward position. We'll see what they do. I'll be back. Alright, we're at the end of day 2, and it looks like they finally decided to try and see off my cavalry corps. Don't know why they're bothering at this point. But it is what it is. So they did force off one of my brigades through artillery attrition. So there's that. And the 1 brigade they did send this way. As you see, I've actually moved my defensive works forward and extending out. Managed to actually cause some damage. So the Yell County Rifles commander, Richard Whitewood, was wounded in the action. So I'm now down a corps commander and a brigade commander. So it's not going to have any effect on this fight from what I can tell. I think the AI is just desperate now. I'm going to let Stan Watie's corps fight this one out on the defense. It's already 19:30. The day's going to end here in about an hour, hour and a half. So if they're still on the field, I'm just going to send Longstreet's corps straight down their throat. And Early has actually started arriving, but I don't have any plans to use him. Where did he arrive at? He's down here. So his corps is still not at full strength, so I don't have any plans to use him. And we'll just let this ride out. So their morale's now gone. I have taken more casualties because of the artillery exchange, but it's a moot point at this level. They're down to 56 morale, still at 67. Batters are leveling up nicely. And that looks like this brigade might get seen off. small brigade to begin with, 81 casualties, 180 men left. They didn't have too many fighting men in that brigade to begin with. And it doesn't look like they have any plans to move in this direction either. These works are built. Yep. And they're almost done. So I actually have to deploy this division. Artillery up a little further. Yeah, this battle was the AI's to lose. They lost it. So, yeah, we'll let this ride out. It looks like it's going to go into a day 3 unless they withdraw overnight. So, I'll be back. And as soon as I said I would be back, it came up as the enemy is retreating. So I'm going to let them go. There's no point in fighting this one out. There we go. So I did end up taking more casualties than him. And like I said, that was from the artillery exchange. So he lost 550 of his infantry, 10 of his guns. For a total of 600 men out of his 12,000 man force. I mean, I've seen similar casualties in the smaller fights. So he just took enough casualties to want to leave. I lost 200 infantry, 585 casualties. That's all from Stan Watie's corps. 0 of my guns. Which all 785 from my 31,000. So not the best fight in the world. Really disappointing fight the way it went down. But it is what it is. I should have. If this had gone into a day 3, I would have attacked. If I decide to attack in the morning is what I should have done. It is what it is. So we're not even going to look at the post-battle reports. So there's only those 2 batteries. Neither one of them are viewer unit batteries. So I'm not really interested in seeing what type of damage they did. Considering there's only 5 guns in that entire corps, they probably didn't cause too many casualties. I think most of those casualties came out of that one brigade that approached my lines. I don't know why the AI even did that. Or even why they sent that attack in at the end at the cavalry corps. I wasn't even, like, even if they had turned around, I wasn't going to send the cavalry corps after them just because they're so low on numbers. If they had done that day 1, I would have lost that battle. General Alcorn, he became famous. He's the commander of the artillery division for Stan Watie. Alright, so enemies suffered casualties of 594 men, 145 killed, 77 captured. Morale's believed to be confident. Our casualties total 785 men with 223 killed and 119 missing. Captured 295 rifles and 5 guns from the field and sent 77 soldiers down to Andersonville. So, on top of those casualties, and I wish they listed it on there, is we did lose 2 officers. Stan Watie and Richard Whitewood were both wounded. So I need to pick a replacement for Stan Watie, but as soon as he's available again, he's going to take that corps back over. Let's get this done before the AI gives me somebody I don't want. Alright, which one of you guys is taking it? Who is getting the corps? You know what? That just solved my Longstreet problem. That just solved my Longstreet problem. Longstreet can take command of that corps. That is exactly what we're going to do. Ooh. Weisiger, you'd make a good corps commander, and you're not famous at all either. Take a look at everybody else first. No division commanders there. And Magruder's available. Hill. No, he's 10 stars with 4 bars of fame. Magruder and Weisiger are 11. I'm not counting fame stars, I'm counting everything else. Bonham also. He'd make a good corps commander. But it's the fame is going to keep me from putting anybody else in command. If they have more than 2 stars. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Weisiger. Other people deserve it. But I think it's going to be Weisiger just because he's not that famous. Yeah, he's 9. Weisiger, I think you have a job. Alright, I got to figure out who's going to take over his division. So I got to go through every brigade commander to figure out who's going to replace him. And I do have to get a replacement for the Yell County Rifles. Let's start with them. They're from Arkansas. Rosie's wounded. I gotta go with one of these top tier. I gotta go with the colonels. I have to go by seniority. That's just a rule I set for myself. It's not something anybody else has to do, but it's the way things would have been done. So it would be John Gratiot. Gratiot, however you would have pronounced it. Not a great commander, but he'll get better. So I'm going to do this off camera because this is going to take a while if I got to go through every brigade commander. So, 2 fairly short fights. I don't think I've done too much recording. I'm going to see if I can run this till the end of the month so I can start the next episode, which is September monthlies. So I'll be back. And we finally found that other squadron. It's the Florida Keys Squadron with 8 ships and 40 guns. So let's see how these Rams do. They caught a couple third-rate steamers or second rates? Fourth rates. 3 fourth-rate steamers. They should have no problem seeing these things off. This is good. I'll be able to start clearing this squadron out. I've already got one down to 87%. Surprised I didn't see these guys when the Manassas and the Virginia went sailing by on them. just rammed something. Okay, the Alpha's out of action. All 3 ships have done a ramming. Only one's gone down by 1%. And we've taken out all 3 of those ships. Did we capture all 3? And we captured all 3 of them. Nice. Where is he going? Why do my commanders like the Apalachicola port? Probably, yeah, well, it's not blockaded, that's why. Now, let's get those captured ships out of that fleet. I may have to change their name back to Raider Squadron. They did not disappoint, but it was 3 4th rates. But I will be able to use 4th rates. Barely, but I'll be able to use them. New Orleans Squadron should keep these guys in sight. That's knocked them down to 5 ships, with 1 of them disabled, so ostensibly 4 ships. So 1 more action should see this fleet off. 2nd Gulf Squadron is still at 9 ships with 3 disabled, so that should only be 6 left there. We are going to clear the Gulf, boys. It is happening. Let's see where these guys are going to retreat to. Or is that as far as they were going? Don't tell me that was as far as they were going. That's the last thing I want to hear. Yeah. Well, I'll be back. Alright, everybody. The rest of the month stayed pretty quiet. Raiding fleet's not doing much because they're bolt out of ammunition for the most part. So every time they closed contact, they basically broke contact. So not much else happened along the Gulf Coast. All my other units are recovering. So I was looking at strategy and noticed something really disparaging here. The Union Army now has 264,000 men in the field on me. So I went through every army. And I probably did something that's on the stupid side, but it needed to be done, is every infantry brigade that was under 1,000 men has been sent back home. So they're going to be gone from anywhere from 19 days to 39, 40 days, depending on where they are on the map. So, not the greatest idea in the world, but it did need to get done. So the troops I have in the field should be able to do the job while they're away, hopefully. Because I need to close down that 100,000 number disparance. So Bragg's Corps is on his way up to Fort Kearny over here on the Oregon Trail. I got him going up the river here, up to Omaha City, and then he's going to head out to Fort Kearny. The 1st Corps of Missouri is just kind of sitting here on the river. So they can't have supplies. They got nowhere to draw supply from, either north or south of them. So every time they come within close to the Western Department, they just back off again. So they're not something I am worried about at the moment. Do I have to take care of them? Yes. But they can sit there for now while things get settled. But I do have to kick that army out. The Army of Tennessee is still sitting here in Missouri. I want them out of there. So I'm probably going to move them to take on this other corps. Because that army's grown to 66,000 men and 200 guns. So it needs to get taken care of. That should be it for the updates. We'll go over everything in the next episode. So if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you've not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so you're alerted when the next videos come out. If you like a unit in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, what state it's from, uniforms, weapons, officers, and I'll oblige you on all counts if possible. Also, comments, keep them coming. You know I try to answer almost every one of them that comes through. And I will see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.